Hello and welcome to Gabriel's New Mexico recipes and various cuisines. I'm making salmon patties tonight, and some of the ingredients we have is a can of pink salmon, your favorite choice. I bought that one. Now when you put your salmon in your bowl, you have the salmon that's been canned with the skin and the bones, and I really love the bones. I was hoping to get more bones, but all I got out of this one was one bone, so I feel a little deprived. So in the salmon patties I have 12 crackers in here, and I'm gonna mush them up. Take some air out of there so the thing doesn't pop open. Now before I've done videos for you all trying to show my techniques in cooking, and they've been difficult because I was trying to do it on Facebook and I was limited to 5 minutes. But I found a new way to do it on YouTube, so these videos are going to be posted to a YouTube channel that you can go and view all of my videos in any order you want. It just seemed to work much better, and I'm hoping you guys enjoy it. So I'm going to put my 12 crackers crushed up. You can use a rolling pin when you do that. And then I have a couple of eggs. The crackers and eggs are to add a little bit of mass, and to the eggs are to bind them together so your patties don't fall apart. In addition to that, I did a green chili pepper, garlic, sliced thinly, and scallions. I like scallions, and I saved the scallions for later. You can use them for garnish too, to make them look pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump all of that into my mix. And I have breadcrumbs, because at the end I'm going to dredge them in the breadcrumbs so that they get a crust when I cook them. So I get my salmon. Oh, and I also have a little bit of white pepper. I'm probably going to put maybe a quarter of a teaspoon. This is a tablespoon, so I'm just eyeballing this one, but a quarter of a teaspoon, a little bit more, of white pepper to get in there. I should probably, I was going to put garlic salt, but I put fresh garlic, so that's not necessary. And like I said, the eggs in there. So if you like to be messy, you can get your hands in there and just mush it up. Basically, this is the same thing as like when you make meatloaf. You're adding the eggs, the breadcrumbs, and all this, and you're going to make patties out of them instead of meatballs or meatloaf. And your key is, the reason I use 2 eggs, usually you would only use 1 egg, but I use 2 eggs because I really want them to bind together. I want them to make little patties. So, and all the recipes I give you and my techniques and all the ingredients, they're all subject to your interpretation. You could add things, you could subtract things, you could do what you want, you know. But for tonight, I've been putting you guys off because I've been doing my schoolwork, and it is time for me to do some cooking for you guys. So here we go. So, our first patty. Now, I like mine kind of thin. I go about maybe a ½ an inch. In fact, I put too much patty in there. I'm probably going to get maybe about 8 patties out of this one, I think. But because the patty is moist right now, because of the liquids we added, separate it a little bit. I can drop it into the breadcrumbs, touch it up a little bit so the patty stays together. And then it's kind of a tricky thing here is to flip it over. It's falling apart. Probably should have used a spatula. But it got the other side. So if I'm able to take it out, I can reform it back into a patty. Yeah, that's the tricky part. I think I need to go get a spatula. Now the reason for the Italian breadcrumbs is to add a little bit of crust to the outside and give it a little bit of flavor, because it's the Italian breadcrumbs. It adds a little bit of basil and Parmesan and all that. So I'm going to shove this one up. You know, I need a spatula. Give me 1 second. I got to go grab a spatula. And you know I use my big gigantic ones, but in this case I just got to be happy with what I got. So push that off to the side. And let's get the second one going. Spread out your breadcrumbs so that they can take this. And we're going to go down. Okay. If you shake it like this, the breadcrumbs attach themselves. I can't get that underneath, so I'll just use the spatula here. Flip that over, get the other side, and of course this one's giving me a problem also. Got to use your most important thing in cooking are your tools. If you get the right tools, things are going to work one way or another. Get the third one going. Now, I still have time constraints. I can't like go all out on you guys, so I'm going to make 3 of them, and I'm going to go fry them up for you. Because regardless, even though I can't fit 6 or 8 or whatever salmon patties into the pan, so might as well do 3 and maintain my cooking so that everything comes out good. Okay, so we still have the breadcrumbs going on there. See, if you're good, you can do this. Watch. I lost some there. Now I got a vacuum on top of all this. Okay, so okay, so that's the end of this part. The second part will be frying.